You text back, "I'm fine." You smile in the meeting. You laugh at the joke. You say, "just tired," when someone notices something's off. But behind closed doors, or sometimes just behind your own eyes, everything is unraveling. If you've ever held it together in public while silently drowning inside, this video is for you. For most people, it begins early. You learned, maybe from your family, maybe from experience, that showing emotional pain made people uncomfortable, that crying was too much, that needing help was weakness, that falling apart simply wasn't an option. So you adopted. You became fluent in a language called "I'm fine." And the older you got, the better you got at speaking it. Psychologists call this emotional suppression, the conscious or unconscious effort to hide how you're truly feeling. And here's what the research shows. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. It compresses them, like holding a beach ball underwater. You can do it, but it takes enormous energy, and eventually, it always comes back up. Now here's where it gets deeper. Most people who pretend to be okay aren't doing it to deceive others. They're doing it to protect them. I don't want to be a burden. Everyone has their own problems. What's the point? They can't fix it anyway. This is called self-silencing in psychology, and it's especially common in people who grew up in environments where their emotional needs were dismissed, minimized, or made to feel like an inconvenience. When you're told, directly or indirectly, that your feelings are too much, you start editing yourself before you even open your mouth. You become your own gatekeeper, and over time, that gate stays mostly closed. But here's the part nobody talks about. The very act of pretending to be okay can deepen the pain. When you mask how you feel, you don't just hide it from others, you hide it from yourself. You stop processing. You stop grieving, you stop healing, because healing requires acknowledgement, and you've become an expert at looking away. Unprocessed emotions don't dissolve, they manifest as anxiety, as chronic fatigue, as physical illness, as that hollow numbness you can't quite name but can't quite shake. And the longer you perform okayness, the more disconnected you become from your own inner world. Some people reach a point where someone genuinely asks, "How are you?" and they don't even know the real answer anymore. So what kind of person becomes a master at hiding pain? Research points to 3 common profiles. First, the high-functioning achiever, the one who stays busy because stopping means feeling. Work becomes armor, productivity becomes a coping mechanism. If you're always doing, you never have to just be, and being is where the grief lives. Second, the caretaker, always focused on everyone else. Their identity is wrapped up in being the strong one. Falling apart would mean failing the role they've built their entire worth around. And third, the chronically invalidated, someone whose pain was repeatedly minimized, who was told "you're too sensitive" or "others have it worse," until they started believing their pain simply wasn't worth expressing. Here's what I want you to hear. Pretending to be okay takes real courage. Showing up when you're breaking, getting through the day, keeping it together for the people who need you. That's not weakness, that's strength. But strength has limits, and using all of yours to maintain an illusion means you have none left for actual healing. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot fill a cup you refuse to admit is empty. The people who are hardest to check on, the ones who always seem fine, are often the ones who need someone to look a little closer. Maybe that someone needs to be you, looking closer at yourself. I want to leave you with one question, not a task, just something to sit with. What would happen if you let one person see even a small part of how you're really doing? Not everything, just a crack, just enough to let some light in. Because the mask is heavy, and you've been wearing it for a long time. You don't have to take it all off at once, but you're allowed to set it down, even just for a moment. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who always seems fine. They might need it more than you know. See you in the next one.